Hey there folks, welcome back to the Tower Tech. Got another vlog. Do like to do these. I like to talk about topics that are on my mind. You guys have effectively become my free therapist, so thank you very much for that. So for those that have been following the channel for a while will know that I've gone through a little splurge of buying kind of home security type systems, a whole heap of videos on the channel about those, and that's been following a spat of break-ins that have been taking place on the estate. Now it's nothing serious, guys. It's not like kind of major crime stuff. It's people trying car doors to see if the car's unlocked. It's people trying back gates and garages and stuff like that. And to be fair, I don't think anyone's kind of like force their way in, but you know, it's an intrusion in people's space, and it doesn't make people feel great. And quite understandably, I think, myself and a number of others have invested in home security systems. Some of those wired for some of the neighbours. I've gone for predominantly the Ring stuff, which is wireless. It's been great, and you know, as a huge tech geek, that's been quite good fun installing, reviewing, doing the videos, and. And we've established ourselves a Facebook group so we can communicate with each other. We can let each other know things that are going on the estate, in the neighbourhood, and share Ring videos as well, whether it be Ring doorbell or a Ring floodlight cam or a Ring spotlight cam, just to keep each other alert to what's going on. And actually, in one instance, the police did use the camera footage, actually made an arrest and secured a conviction as well. So, you know, it is good equipment. Most recently, an event has made me a little bit reflective, perhaps on the way in which we're responding to that. Basically driven out of the fact that I don't think the police have done loads. As I say, they have secured one conviction. We've called the police a couple of times. They've taken kind of logs, reports of what we've described. We did find some people during the day. I don't know that they were up to anything they shouldn't have been, but they did appear to be kind of what I would describe as kind of staking out, canvassing the area, I guess potentially to come back. We rang the police. You know, they were quite diligent. They took the report, etc. They have sent some patrol cars round. Again, I catch those on my cameras because they pick up the motion detection. That does happen occasionally during the day. And to be fair to them, they've done it kind of midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, stuff like that. It doesn't really seem to have stopped the problems from happening. And so far as I can tell, these things are completely unrelated. They're relatively sporadic. I'm supremely confident that the people, the perpetrators, don't know each other. I don't think this is like a coordinated thing. I'm sure that it's not any more frequent than on our road than perhaps it is on other roads in other estates, in other areas, in other towns, in other cities, and. I just think the group of residents that live on this estate, you know, they're pretty professional, pretty educated, pretty sensible people. I just think they're quite cognizant of it, and the kind of technology stuff and the Facebook group does make you more conscious that all of those things are going on. But despite all of the kind of camera footage, reports to the police, etc., it hasn't stopped. The most recent incident actually did make me quite reflective, and it made me reflective because when I looked at the footage, the guy came into our driveway. I'm going to show you some B-roll of that footage now. And when you look at what he's doing, I mean, he goes off camera ever so slightly. And I rather assumed initially when I watched this footage that he's trying the gate or he's looking for a way to get in. Actually, watching it again, it actually looks like the guy's hiding behind our bin. And having looked through the Facebook group, having exchanged a couple of messages with people, it does rather seem, well, it doesn't seem, explicitly been told that some of the neighbours, basically this guy was hopping fences, trying to get into sheds. Some of the neighbours have picked up on the fact that this guy is doing that, and they have decided to take matters into their own hands. So there was a car tearing around the estate looking for this guy. There were 2 guys on foot that were tearing around the estate looking for him. One of the neighbours caught them on the footage, and you can hear them shouting, "He's here, he's there, he's on the main road," and they're running around. I'm not going to share that footage because that's not my footage. That's not right to share on this channel. It's effectively vigilantism. So, you know, it's disappointing, I guess, that people feel like they get to the stage that they have to take matters into their own hands. And I do think there's a challenge for the police here. If they were doing a little bit more, I don't think, you know, residents would feel like their space was so intruded that they did need to take matters into their own hands. This guy's come and hid in our driveway. You can see him standing around. He's waiting for them to go, and then he jogs off, walks out into the front of the house, and we catch him on the front camera. I guess my question is, what were those three guys gonna do to him if they caught him? It's probably fairly reasonable to presume that he was likely to get a hiding of some description. Is a hiding a proportionate and fair punishment for trying to nick tools or bikes and stuff like that out of people's sheds? I'd probably argue not. And I think that's the challenge with vigilantes, is you're too close to the situation yourself. You don't have that removed perspective that helps you make kind of balanced and proportionate judgments around the punishment that people should receive. And that's why we have the legal process that we have, you know, an impartial and fair system where people are defended, you know, to the best of that lawyer's ability, and, you know, they are prosecuted to the best capability of the prosecuting lawyer's capability, so that we end up with a reasoned and balanced perspective on what that individual has done. And people make mistakes in their lives. I have made mistakes in my life. I have done things that I regret. I'm sure that many of you have done things you regret. That's the whole process of learning and growing up. So, you know, it is very important that, you know, people are appropriately punished for the things that they do wrong, that they can learn from those things and that they can move on from them. Clearly, there are some extreme cases where people just need to go to prison for a very long time. But, you know, we're predominantly, I mean, you can't see this guy's face in this video, but he's clearly a very young guy. You know, he's at the early part of his life. It's a real shame that he's found himself in the pickle that he has. But the guy has got decades of life ahead of him. You know, giving someone a hiding, that can very quickly get out of hand. And I guess ultimately my challenge is to the police. You need to do a better job of preventing this stuff from happening in the first place. You know, education for people that are getting caught up in this stuff, and you know, neighborhood watch schemes. You know, this is a brand new estate. It doesn't have a neighborhood watch scheme. That seems odd. We've kind of done this Facebook group stuff. That's good, but I do think the neighborhood watch signs are a great deterrent. So, you know, rather than just moan about that, I will go and query and read about and find out about what it takes to get this area set up as a neighborhood watch. But I guess, you know, ultimately the risk with this stuff, you know, I'm sure the police will argue that they don't have the funding or the resources to adequately deal with all of these things. I do get that, and I understand that perspective, but the problem with that perspective is you run the risk of crime breeding crime. So, you know, being a vigilante is a crime as I understand it to be in the UK, and actually what you've got here is petty theft initially, driving vigilantes that could then potentially turn into some kind of assault charge, and actually what you're progressively getting is, you know, more serious crime coming as a consequence of inadequately dealing with pretty petty crime. That's a hell of a reflection, actually. And, you know, my wife would talk loads better about this stuff. She actually did criminology as a degree. She knows a lot about this stuff. She's got, I won't deny, some fairly wacky ideas about stuff. I won't share those. I'm sure she's far more informed about these things than I am. But, you know, I guess I have a degree of sympathy for why people were chasing him up and down the estate. That, you know, that felt very emotionally charged. I'm sure it was very exciting at the time. But, you know, ask yourself the question of what you can actually do if you catch that guy. Far better to contact the police and get them to actually do their job. And actually, you know, prevention, I think, is always better than the cause. So I'm rambling a bit, guys, so I'm probably going to wrap it up here. Just some thoughts. You know, the CCTV stuff. I mean, he was a plonker. He came up my driveway. I had absolutely no idea that he was on camera. So I'm not sure that's necessarily worked as a deterrent in quite the way I wanted it to. So we're probably going to put some floodlights in the driveway as well. I suspect that will do the trick. Floodlight comes on, he looks up, there's the camera. But nonetheless, I personally prefer knowing that these things have happened. You know, a couple of people at work said, don't you feel all kind of like creeped out about that? Not really. I'm confident in the security of the house. I don't think anybody's going to get in. And if they do, they're going to make one hell of a racket in order to get in here. We're going to wake up. We're going to hear that. We're pretty good at checking to make sure everything's locked, etc. But yeah, isn't it interesting how, you know, very petty stuff, not adequately dealt with, can runs the potential of starting to escalate away. So there we go, guys. That's the latest vlog. Got some more videos coming for you in the next couple of days. Going to be looking at some water cooling stuff, specifically looking at why loops appear like the water's disappearing when there are no leaks. So watch out for that video. Got some drone stuff planned, etc. as well. And most definitely have got some PC builds in the pipeline in the not too distant future. So please like and share this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. I hope you're really well wherever in the world you are, and I will see you in my next one.